Good afternoon, my friends. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso. I'm a non-sectarian Buddhist monk, teacher, and healer. Yes, Virginia, equality is a myth. Now, I'm not talking about equality under law, although that could be an interesting political discussion we can have another time. I'm talking about individuals. Equality is a myth. We're not all the same. Some are taller, some are shorter. Some are prettier, according to some. Some are ugly, according to some. And they ain't no accounting for taste. That's what I say. There are going to be a good many people superior to me in a good many areas. For instance, I know nothing about football. So there are many, many, many people whose knowledge of football is superior to mine. And there's going to be some people who I know more than in my areas of knowledge or in my skills of expertise. That's how it is for everyone. If our self-esteem is so very fragile that we can't grapple with the idea that there are those around us who are superior to us in some areas and whom we are superior to them in other areas. If our self-esteem is too fragile to cope with that, then my friends, we need to rethink a good many things. I don't know about you, but I'm a sci-fi geek. That means I like the adventurer and I like the scientist. And sometimes they're wrapped up in one. Now, a scientist ideally looks at the facts and then, based on the facts, draws conclusions. Many of us have our science backwards. What we do is we decide what beliefs would make us feel good, and then we scramble to find evidence or experiences that would support those beliefs. Well, I remember talking just the other day with an individual who said, I don't care if Buddhist scriptures disagree with my beliefs because I've had experiences that support those beliefs. Well, my friends, the real question is, if you're going to have beliefs, make sure these beliefs are empowering. Make sure these beliefs feed our wisdom, our peace, our love, and our joy. If our beliefs feed our confusion, our fear, our pride, our aggression, our defensiveness, then they ain't doing nobody no good. Or to quote the internet meme, ain't nobody got time for that. So here's the deal. Let's not believe in beliefs. Let's get excited about good ideas. Let's apply them to our life only as they prove to be helpful. Once an idea ceases to be helpful, let's put it on a shelf until perhaps a later date when it is helpful. Beliefs are typically contrivances of mind and emotion. These contrivances lend themselves to rigidity. The rigidity lends itself to intolerance, and the intolerance lends itself to aggression. Let's talk a bit more about what a belief is. I mentioned it's an intellectual and an emotional contrivance. Contrivance is something that's held together by force, and that's just great as long as you have spare time and energy to apply the force. But if that force wavers, the contrivance falls apart. Ironically, when we need it the most, when we need our beliefs the most, when our energy is the most vulnerable, that's when we have the least energy to hold our contrivances together. So let's not pretend that our hopes and our desires are anything more than just that, hopes and desires. And hopes and desires are lovely as long as we view them with clarity as just that. We view them as a substitute for facts, they can trip us up. Let me give you an example. Why, the other day, an atheist said, "Hey, monk boy, what if Buddha had never existed?" My answer is, I ain't got no problem with that. I love the idea of Buddha. I find the idea empowering. Whether it's based in reality or not, I like the idea. Now, does it mean I love all ideas that some Buddhists purport? Oh, hell no. Why, I'm not going to name names, but some very high-ranking Tibetan monastics have gone on record as saying, "Hey guys, fear is good." No, it's not. Fear's bad. Fear might get us to take action in the short term, but in the long view, it leads to resentment and crankiness and neurosis, and no one needs more of that. So, I don't believe everything that comes down the pike, but I find some ideas to be empowering. What are some of those ideas that I find to be empowering? Well, let's take, for instance, the thought of interdependence, that everything is dependent upon everything else, and that everything affects everything else. If not directly, then indirectly. If not overtly, then subtly. If not actually, then at least potentially. I find that a useful tool for leading my life. Another useful tool I find is impermanence. I love impermanence. It requires no faith. We watch one season fade into another season. We watch summer fade into autumn, and we see the impermanence of a year. We see the moon wax. We see the moon wane, and we see the impermanence of a month. We see the sun rise. We see the sun set. We see the impermanence of a day. And even now, you can put your hands on your upper chest. You could feel it swell. You could feel it sink. You can observe the impermanence of a breath. That is why it is written in my more advanced practice text, ever-changing, one and all. There is nothing permanent to grasp. That's not dogma. That's consistently observable phenomena. And it's not funny that some phenomena makes us feel warm and fuzzy and some phenomena doesn't. For instance, I'm always shocked when the seasons change. I'm always shocked when the moon changes cycle. I have been all my life. Change surprises me despite what I think I know. Yet when I apply a sober view of impermanence to my spiritual life, it gives me greater peace and greater resourcefulness. And so the test of whether something is a good idea or a useful idea is not how comfortable I am with it, but how effective it is when it is applied judiciously. That's all you get, my friends. The Tuesday series of weekly webinars and live in-person classes begins on October 1st here in the greater Los Angeles area and globally over Skype. Now, there's only so much room in this apartment that I plan to be teaching classes in. There's only so much room in a Skype room. So if you're interested, really interested, use the links below to contact me or just to ask me a comment or a question or a cyber hug. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Bye-bye.